Let's talk about web accessibility. Does that phrase make you feel a little nervous? Like, are you doing it right? Is it even your job to begin with? Well, today we're going to clear all that up. We're going to see why the biggest things holding us back from a more accessible web aren't the technical details. They're actually just myths, and it's time to bust them. And it's true, right? For so many of us, creators, developers, designers, that word can feel loaded. You start thinking about confusing guidelines, you worry about getting into legal trouble, or you're just plain scared of making a mistake and getting called out for it. It's a lot. But here's the big idea for today. What if the real problem isn't the code, but the stories we tell ourselves about the code? By getting past these myths, we can stop seeing accessibility as this annoying chore and start seeing it for what it is. A powerful design principle that just makes everything better for everyone. All right, so here's our game plan. We are going to take on 4 of the biggest myths out there. We're going to ask, is this really for a tiny group of people? Can you just slap it on at the end? Is it only the developer's problem? And does it have to be expensive and ugly? Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, first up, the big one. The myth that this is all just a niche issue. You know the feeling, right? You wonder if all the effort of adding captions or making things keyboard-friendly is really worth it for just a handful of users. Well, let me just hit you with a number, 20%. That's 1 out of every 5 people, 1 in 5 potential customers, readers, or followers. That is not a niche, that is a massive audience. And here's where it gets really interesting. The benefits just ripple out from there. Good accessibility helps an aging population. It helps you when you're trying to use your phone on a sunny day and can't see the screen because of glare. That's a situational limitation. And get this, it even helps search engines like Google understand your content better so more people can find you. This is so important to remember. Disability isn't some separate them. It's an us. It can be temporary, like having a broken arm and needing to navigate with one hand. It can be situational, like trying to watch a video in a loud airport. It is a normal part of being human that affects every single one of us at some point. Okay, on to myth number 2. This is the "we'll fix it in post" myth. The idea that you can build your whole beautiful project and then right at the very end just sprinkle on some accessibility dust and call it a day. To show you why that completely fails, let me paint a picture. Imagine you've built the perfect house. It's done. The walls are painted, the floors are in, it looks amazing. It can't, right? It's impossible. You'd have to tear open all those perfect walls, make a gigantic mess. It would be an absolute nightmare. That is exactly what trying to bolt on accessibility feels like. It's messy, expensive, and it never works as well. So you really have 2 paths. You can retrofit, which, as you can see, is more expensive and often just gets skipped, or you can design it in from the start. We call that the shift-left approach. Think of it like mobile-first design. That used to feel like a huge deal, but now it's just how we work. This is the exact same thing. All right, myth number 3, and it's a classic. That's not my job. It's the assumption that accessibility is some super complicated technical thing that you can just toss over the fence to the engineering team right at the end. Nope, not even close. Accessibility is a team sport. Seriously, look at this list. It starts with a client deciding to value and budget for it. It's on designers to think about color and layout. It's on content writers to use clear language. Everyone has a part to play. The developers can't build an accessible house on an inaccessible foundation. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what about all those automated tools? Can't we just press a button and let the software handle it for us? It's a tempting idea, for sure. Here's the truth. Those tools are a great start, but they are not a complete solution, not by a long shot. They can only catch about 41% of certain kinds of errors. Why? Because a robot doesn't understand context. It can see an image as missing alt text, but it has no idea if it's a picture of a kitten or a complex financial chart. Only a human knows that. So, a real testing strategy has 3 layers. First, run the automated tools to catch all the easy stuff. Second, get an actual human being to test it manually, like trying to navigate with just a keyboard. And third, and this is the absolute most important step, test with real users who have diverse abilities. Their feedback is pure gold. And that brings us to our final boss myth, which is really a 3-in-1. It's the big fear that making things accessible is just too expensive, too complicated, and will force you to make something that's, well, ugly. Let's hit the cost thing first. Look at these bars. The cost of building accessibility in from the start is a manageable investment. The cost of trying to fix it later is much higher. And the cost of getting sued or dealing with terrible PR, that can be astronomical. The real question isn't, can we afford to do this? It's, can we really afford not to? Okay, but what about the design, the aesthetics? This is a huge fear for creative people, that the rules are going to box them in and make their work boring. I want to tell you about someone who completely shatters this idea. This is Amy Mullins. Instead of seeing her prosthetic legs as just a medical necessity, she saw them as a canvas. She commissioned designers to create these incredible, functional works of art. Her story is the perfect example. Accessibility isn't a constraint on creativity, it's an invitation to be more creative. And here's the biggest secret of all. Most accessibility is completely invisible. It lives under the hood, in the code. Things like alt text, proper headings, area labels, your typical user will never even see them. But for someone using assistive technology, those invisible details make the entire experience possible.
Now, a few things are visible. Good color contrast, so things are easy to read. Simple, clean layouts. But let's be real, that's not a limitation. That's just good design. It helps everybody. It's clearer, cleaner, and easier to use for all of us.
So we have to get out of this mindset that accessibility is a chore or a checkbox. It's not. It's a fundamental principle of quality. It's a sign that you care about your craft and about the people you're building for. Because in the end, this isn't about designing for a small, separate group. It's about designing for humanity, with all of its incredible diversity. And that leaves us with one final thought. If designing for everyone creates a better product for everyone, then maybe accessibility first isn't just a trend. Maybe it's just the future of all truly great design.